I really appreciate it. And now we want to bring in Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter. Congressman Carter has supported every Republican speaker candidate during this prolonged process. Sir, thank you very much for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So, is there going to be a Republican Speaker of the House by the end of the day today?
I feel like there will be. I'm very excited. We were as united last night when we left that conference as I've seen us in a long time. And it's very exciting. And listen, Mike Johnson is of impeccable character. I've known Mike since he's been up here, and I just could not be happier to vote for him today as Speaker of the House. I think we're going to get this done. And immediately after that, we're going to get an aid package to Israel done, which needs to be the first thing that we do.
Has the Speaker designee Johnson told the conference whether he would be willing to bring the administration's request that includes Ukraine and Israel funding to the floor as one package, or has he made a commitment that those things will not come to the floor together?
To my knowledge, he has not made that commitment yet. I'm not familiar if he has. But I will tell you that I hope that it will be broken up. I think it's a mistake to bring it as a total package. We need to look at it separately. Obviously, we're going to support Israel. We're going to support Ukraine. We want Ukraine to be successful, and they need to be successful. We all understand that, but we also need to see a plan. We need to see a plan on how Ukraine is going to end up and how we're going to get there. We need to make sure that Europe is doing their part. We need accountability to make sure the weapons and the financial assistance that we're sending to Ukraine are being used properly. And we need to make sure there are no American troops on the ground in Ukraine. That's separate from Israel. Israel needs our help. They need our immediate help. We've got to make sure Israel can defend itself and defend the state of Israel and their citizens. Hamas is a terrorist organization killing civilians. We cannot allow that to happen.
All right. To go back to the actual fight here on the floor, or I should say the path that Mike Johnson seems to have taken to this moment, if chosen, he's going to be the most inexperienced speaker in many decades, certainly less experienced than the previous Republican speakers we have seen in modern times. Does that lack of experience concern you at all?
Well, it doesn't concern me. Listen, we've got a lot of talent in our conference, and he'll get a lot of help, and he knows that he's going to need a lot of help. He made that clear last night. He made it clear that it's going to be a team effort, and I believe him, and I believe that he will lead that way. Mike Johnson is a smart guy. He is very intelligent, a constitutional lawyer. I mean, he is one that we go to when we have questions about the Constitution. He is an expert in that field. He understands leadership, and he understands that this has got to be a team effort, that you surround yourself with good people and that you let them go at it. Mike Johnson will do just that.
Congressman, is there anything about Johnson's record? He comes clearly from the conservative wing of the conference. Do you think that reality, his views, will make it harder for him to be an advocate for your majority makers, those Republicans in Biden districts who are most at risk of losing their seats and therefore your majority next year?
I don't think that that's going to be a factor. In fact, Mike Johnson gets it. Look, he understands politics. He understands that it had not been for the state of New York, that we would not be in the majority right now. He understands that we've got a number of members in swing districts who are going to need our help. He gets all that. And that's why I'm really glad that we've chosen Mike Johnson. And I look forward to supporting him on the floor. I look forward to electing him as our next speaker.
What role do you feel the former president, Donald Trump, played in this process? As we said when we introduced you, you've supported all of the other Republicans, including Tom Emmer, who, of course, rose and fell in between lunch and dinner yesterday afternoon. What role did the former president play in that? And do you have any concerns about his sway inside the conference?
Look, we make our own decisions in the conference. Ours is a very broad tent, a very big tent. We've got a number of different opinions. And unfortunately, you've seen it on a public display here, and the public has seen it. But that's okay. That's okay to have a big tent. That's okay to have different opinions. And sometimes democracy is messy, just like Speaker designee Johnson said last night. Democracy can be messy. And as far as the former president goes, listen, we respect him. We respect his opinion. I thought Tom Emmer, who is a good friend, and I thought he would have done a great job as Speaker. We've gone through some great, talented people. Kevin McCarthy, who I feel like was unjustly removed from the Speaker's office. Steve Scalise, Jim Jordan, all of these people would have been great speakers. Well, now we've got Mike Johnson. I'm excited about it. I feel like we're unified and we're on the track right now. We're going to get this train back on the track.
Sir, do you feel you will need Democratic votes to keep the government open? And do you think that that's a tenable thing for if Congressman Johnson becomes Speaker today? Can he continue to hold the gavel if he does what Kevin McCarthy did and relies on Democrats to continue funding the government?
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I will tell you
this. It's very quickly looming, that bridge, sir.
Well, November 17th, we get it. We understand that the deadline is coming up, and certainly we're going to be prepared for that. Obviously, it looks like we're going to have some kind of stopgap funding. There's no question about that. Hopefully the Democrats understand, or enough of them understand, the importance of this, and I think they will, to keep the government open. None of us want to see that. But at the same time, let's keep in mind that a government shutdown would not be the worst thing that could happen. To continue this reckless spending that the Democrats have had in the recent past, that would be the worst thing that could happen.
So now, I don't want you would prefer to see a shutdown than to fund the government at the levels that Kevin McCarthy and Joe Biden agreed to?
Look, we are spending way too much money. Everybody agrees on that. Whether you're Republican or Democrat, you got to understand that we cannot sustain at $33.5 trillion in debt, with the interest on that debt.
Sure, but most of that actually came under the Trump administration, which you all, very, very eagerly voted for at the time.
Well, look, regardless of where it came from, we've got it now, and we've got to address it now. That's the key. And we are going to address it because we are fiscally responsible in the Republican Party. And we are going to make sure that
Well, again, sir, much of this spending came under Donald Trump, who's your front runner for president.
Well, I would beg to differ. Yes, some of it did come under Trump, but a lot of it came under the Biden administration. A lot of it came under and was unnecessary. Regardless of how we got here, we are here now, and we've got to address this issue, and we're going to address it. I serve on the Budget Committee. We've got a 10-year budget that if we follow that, we will actually have a balanced budget after 10 years and have an excess budget after 10 years. It'll do away with a lot of the waste, fraud, and abuse that we have in this government, and it will also address the mandatory spending, which we've got to do in a bipartisan way. We've got to get this under control.
All right, Congressman Buddy Carter, with a very optimistic view of what's about to unfold on the House floor. Thank you very much for spending some time with us today, sir. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.